Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Home of Politics. If you are here for the first time, consider subscribing, liking, sharing. You should also comment if you have an opinion and turn on the notification button so that you receive information of the same nature. My good people, Jeremiah Kioni, who is the Secretary General of Jubilee Party, today while at Narok, he addressed several issues, and the way he was speaking, it shows that he was deeply regretting and showing frustration because of betrayal of Raila Odinga, because he joined the government and because they were not able maybe to control his ways or his proceedings. Then we can just understand that he is having a lot of pain together with the other parties in the coalition. Here is the tip.
Mimi sina shida na broad-based na hata sina shida naye kujoin broad-based, lakini vizuri waambie wale mlikuwa na wao mkikula pamoja, nimeenda na sijaenda choo, nimeenda bahari na sirudi. Wewe sasa hesabu baba hako na CS wangapi kwa hiyo serikali? Hako na PS wangapi kwa hiyo serikali? Hako na parastato gapi kwa hiyo serikali? Ingia bunge, ni kamati gapi zinaongozwa na wana ODM kwa hiyo bunge? Budget ndio hiyo ilienda juzi na zile zingine. Kwa hivyo kama mnasema mambo ya mageuzi ya serikali, mtu mwenye amefanya kuu kwa Ruto ni baba.
Jeremiah Kioni has expressed deep sense of frustration, and this has been brought by the issue of broad-based government. And according to his speech or the matters that he just addressed, then we see that even right now there is a strained relation that is existing within these parties in the coalition, and so there is no cohesion like before. And these parties that are within the Azimio coalition, other than ODM, then they are not feeling good about the movement or the direction that Raila Odinga took. And so, my good people, it seems like the likes of Jeremiah Kioni and other leaders in the opposition were not very sure, or they were not believing if Raila Odinga will continue frustrating them and betraying them. For example, the first stance when they realized this is when there were several positions in the government that were created. And you see, the fact is that the people of ODM were the only people who benefited from these positions. The first person, if we can mention them by their name, we have Wycliffe of Paranya. He was from ODM. We also had Hassan Joho from ODM. We had this John Mbadi. Finally, we had Opiyo Wandayi. All these are people or key leaders who have been very vibrant in ODM, and they are among the people who were against the government 100%. But this is what happened. They were given positions without considering people who are in the same coalition with them, for example, from other parties like Jubilee, like maybe NAK Kenya, like Wiper, other parties. No one benefited. Another instance is when we have seen the recently positions that have been created in Kenya, and for sure we have realized that there are more 7 state departments that have been formed, and these state departments have been formed specifically or categorically to accommodate Raila'S people in the government. And we have witnessed the different reshuffles, introduction of new people and changing others in order to accommodate people of Raila Odinga in the government. But why should he do the issue of replacing ODM members or people that are attached to ODM rather than even giving a share to Wiper, a share to Jubilee, or a share to any other party that is existing in the coalition? And so the issue of frustration, continuous frustration, has made these leaders to be sad, and now they do not have any hope or faith in Raila Odinga because they feel he is taking advantage of the popularity of ODM and the numbers that they are having to manipulate the opposition, because any small chance that is being seen, it is given to ODM without considering that opposition is a wide range. It's not made up of only one party, but a wide coalition. And so, ladies and gentlemen, what will be the future of this opposition, or what will be the future of Raila Odinga and the coalition that he have been leading? Ladies and gentlemen, we say the future is very important, and the first thing is that these political parties that were left out by Raila Odinga in giving out the shares have formed a strong alliance, and this alliance, be sure it will champion against Raila Odinga and William Ruto. And for example, we have parties like UPA. It is a recent party that have been very popular, and is that one from Fred Matiang'i. We also have a party like Jubilee. We remember Jubilee has got a faction whereby half of the Jubilee is in the UDA and another Jubilee is in the other coalition of Azimio la Umoja. And so this Jubilee that is in the opposition will unite with other parties so that it can champion against Raila Odinga. Finally, we have People's Liberation Party, that one of Martha Karua. We also have another party, or likely if another party, that one of Rigiji, will be formed, it will also fall in the same suit. And so the alliance that will be formed with these other parties that have been left out, we have forgotten the party of Kalonzo Musyoka. That one is also a very strong party, and Kalonzo Musyoka himself have been forgotten in very many privileges. And if they form a strong alliance that will rally against Raila Odinga, then be sure that their future will be focused on themselves and not under the influence of Raila Odinga, because they have now realized that they need to be strong within themselves and not to rely on the decisions of Odinga. What is another direction that the coalition or the future politics of these remaining political parties should take? Another one is to engage in constructive opposition roles. One of their critical critical role, it is the oversighting of the government. Now, this has been happening since the time ago, but we have seen Raila Odinga and his ODM, they seem to be the people who are oversighting the government more than other political parties. This is because he have been given positions in the government in order to oversight the government, to help running the government. And you wonder, where will other parties like Wiper disappear to? Jubilee, where will they stand? And they're all opposition parties. And so, under this direction that they should take, they should continue engaging the public so that they can win the attention of the public. In order for them to do anything, they should bring the public or the people close to them, and they should not focus on fighting politics. And because they are the people who have been left out, not to be given any chance, then the wananchi are the only option that can help these remaining parties in the coalition to grow strong. And so the remaining parties of Kalonzo Musyoka, that one of Jeremiah Kioni, that one of Matiang'i, should unite and do the constructive opposition work, like oversighting the government, like calling them out in any case if they have a mistake. And they should do this by engaging the member of the public. Ladies and gentlemen, unity is also very important within these parties that have remained. For example, we have recently witnessed some of the parties within the union of these parties complaining about the issue of tribalism, biasness, selfish and greed. Those are the things that are going maybe to make these people to lose their target. But if they remain united, the other remaining parties, then they will attract other people to join their alliance, because it will seem like they are serious, they understand what they want, and they lack personal interest, whereby they are considering focusing on the delivery to the people. And so these remaining parties should remain united, because we know unity is working for the best of every party. And they should also table out their manifesto to be directly to the people, because we see a lot of parties bring out their documents so that it can impress the public, but when they have a chance, they do their own things and forget about the public. My good people, we know it really pains the other parties because they underwent a lot of problems during demonstrations, during the time when the country was not stable, and they were together with this ODM and Raila Odinga. But see, at the end, they have come to harvest nothing, yet they were together. At the end of the day, they are the only people who are being seen in the media, complaining here, complaining there, while ODM itself, it is eating in silence. My good people, they feel embarrassed, they feel frustrated, and they hope that they had in Raila Odinga and its party, it is no more. It have been discontinued, and coming in future, Raila Odinga will find a very difficult time to come back to these remaining parties to start convincing them, to start telling the likes of Akina Kalonzo, come, we are taking you to Canaan. It will be very difficult for Raila Odinga to convince these people or these leaders who have not been given any chance in the government. Finally, but not least, ladies and gentlemen, the parties that have remained might experience some coming of new leaders, and other people might ditch their parties to join them. As we had said earlier, unity that these parties will express right now up to 2027 and going forward, it will make them to attract the attention of other leaders and draw that the issue of same vision to come and have a lot of support. This is because within ODM itself, we have some leaders who are not happy with the issue of broad-based government. One of the example of these leaders we have, it is this Babu Owino, who openly endorsed Kalonzo Musyoka as the one of the presidential candidates that he will support come 2027. We also have another leader who is the Secretary General of ODM. He was seen very annoyed and very frustrated during the time of signing in the memorandum of understanding, and he had to do it because he was there performing his duty according to the constitution of the party. But according to himself, politically, he's not aligned and he's not supporting the issue to do with Raila and Ruto handshake or broad-based government. And so there is a possibility that come in future, some of the leaders from ODM itself will ditch that ODM and join any other strong alliance that will have been formed, which it has a clear mind and states the same vision, or that has like-minded points that they are to table to the wananchi. My good people, we also see there are some leaders who have already left UDA. They are only there because of the name UDA, but their interest is no longer in UDA. Example, we also have a leader like Gathoni Wamchomba, Githunguru MP, who has decided to openly do her movement because she feels like her minds, her thoughts, her vision and her objective is not aligned to that one of UDA, but aligned to other leaders who are oversighting the government. We also have a leader like Ndindi Nyoro. Of recently, he has been very quiet. He has not taken his public movement, bringing into attention of the public if he still pays the loyalty to UDA or he subscribes to other alliances or following other groups that have another thought maybe of oversighting the government. This is because he is maybe calculating his moves and you don't know what might happen in future. And so we will be experiencing some total changes in politics come 2027 because the act of Raila and Ruto working together has shown a lot of impact, because those people who had a lot of faith and hope in Raila Odinga, right now, they know they will be conned again if they can just start singing around Baba, around Raila. If he says, he says. If he decides, then it's okay. They have just come to realize and they have woken up from their sleep, especially Jeremiah Kioni, who was in the front line every time talking ill about the president right now. He has nothing to say but only to observe because his leader himself has taken his stance to go and work with the government, but himself is just complaining, but he has not been given anything. And so, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we are expecting it will take place in future, and it will not astonish us, because right now they have learned their lesson a hard way, because they cannot follow any other influential political leader blindly, not unless they know where they are going. They know how they will table on the table the issue of shares, whereby if you have been given maybe 10 position, you should take 3, another party take 2, another party takes 1 position. They divide among themselves. But if it will be selfish position and taking other advantages like the way ODM has done, then we are going to witness some sort of a different type of politics in Kenya come 2027. That one is just my opinion. If you have a contrary idea about what I've done, please share with me in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day.